y'all been paying attention to the sound bites, the little clips? Do y'all have what is it? You have to have HBO or something?
HBO Max, yeah.
Have y'all watched Hard Knocks at all?
Yes.
Okay. I watched it last night.
Unfortunately.
Break it down for us that are too poor to afford HBO Max. What is Dan Campbell like? Is he really the greatest things ever?
Be a pirate. I mean, don't do that. You wouldn't download a car. No, I will say that this episode of Hard Knocks was probably the best episode of Hard Knocks that I have seen in a long time. Just because the past few seasons, they've been like a drag. I don't even think I finished the Cowboys one because it got so boring.
Well, it's the Cowboys.
But this one was really good. Like, really, really good. So I said this when they brought in Dan Campbell and saw what they did with their first draft when they brought in Penei Sewell and they kind of just built it through the trenches. Mm-hmm. Then after last year and seeing how much of a pain in the ass the Lions were, not only for the Packers, but for a bunch of teams. I know their record wasn't great, but then going forward in this draft and hitting a home run and just getting Aiden Hutchinson, who I think is going to be a stud for them. It's awesome because they go through all the coaches that they have on the organization right now. And they're all former players. So they're going at each other. You just see the camaraderie, but also the competitive edge. I don't know. I mean, you have guys like Jamal Williams on that team who is just, I miss that man so much. The Lions, I tweeted last night after watching it, the Lions have been the younger brother of the NFC North for a very, very long time. And if they continue to rebuild in a very slow, intentional way, they're going to be set up for long-term success. Now, I think that's going to be predicated on if they get a QB, because Jared Goff, I think will be serviceable, for this year and what have you. But if they're able to land a franchise QB within the next couple of years, they will be competing for the division, 100%.
You have to consider too, for last year, they lost a lot of one-score games. I can count Baltimore off the bat, off a kick of God from Justin Tucker, Minnesota. The final drive there, Pittsburgh, if they had a kicker, they would have won that game. There were a few others as well. I think Chicago was a game-winning field goal against Thanksgiving as well. So you have at least 3, 4, 5 games that you could have won if the script was flipped.
They also had a bunch of injuries too. I mean,
Hawkinson was out for a while. Taylor Decker.
Jeff
Okudah was out. Yeah, even though he had a rough start, he was injured for a while too. They cut Jamie Collins.
If I were a player, I would want to play for the Lions. And I think, 5 episodes of Hard Knocks might be a good recruiting tool for the Lions moving forward. Assuming their record, still isn't great, but it might be the kind of thing where players take notice of the coaches and environment there. And we talked to Derek Wolf yesterday, Will and I, on our podcast, and we asked him about Dan Campbell. And he hadn't watched Hard Knocks, but he'd seen the clips. And he's like, I would play for that guy. It's I'd run through a brick wall for him. So it's the kind of stuff where you think it translates that players sort of pick up on. And it does. So I don't know. It's so hard because they're the Lions, and we're always rooting for them. They're always the underdog. You want them to be better. They just never are. And then even when they are, they get to the playoffs and the officials take away the game from them. So I still don't feel good about their prospects this season, but I think it's going to be a really solid Hard Knocks. Like Tom said, it felt better than the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Do you want me to just play the Dan Campbell?
My question before we get into the clip is, do they address the retirement of John Pinacini at all? I just had to say John Pinacini.
John Pinacini? Pinacini?
You're trying to get the language in before you get it claimed out. I completely understand that.
Yeah.
I know Scooter's not here.
Cuss.
He's out. Scooter's not here. We don't have to listen to the Dallas Cowboys. So you know what? We can play the forbidden music today.
Poop
we
pants.
Can say the word taint.
Doesn't matter if you have 1 ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass. These nuts.
These nuts.
I only have 1 cheek, and I'm afraid of Dan Campbell.
We'll play anywhere. We'll play on grass. We'll play on turf. We'll go to landfill. Doesn't matter.
Dan Campbell has a good point. He's talking about playing on the worst fields. He'll go play anywhere. And according to, Cairo Santos, literally the Bears' own kicker, who had to go to crappier fields to go and practice to kind of emulate Soldier Field, he plays on a terrible field at least once a year. So
I'll play you anywhere, even at FedEx Stadium.
And all the players like shudder. They're like, "Oh, not there!"
No.
Dan Campbell's not just going to bite your kneecaps; they're going to tear your kneecaps too. Most underrated part of that clip is the one Lions player is just like his eyes are just like lit up. He's like, "Say a name, I will hunt and kill them for you."
Yeah.
Come on.
I like the D's nuts, by the way. Dan Campbell showing his likability because he dropped a good old got him. All right, there was another thing. Rookie Aiden Hutchinson sang Billie Jean, and
Yes.
I have that.
She was more like a beauty queen from the movie scene. I said, don't mind what you do to me. I am the one.
The no-look catch, by the way, from the player in yellow sitting in the front row because the guy behind him throws his shirt off and he just like snatches it out of the air and without even looking and waving it. Like, yeah.
Look, I love that clip, but Aiden Hutchinson ain't got shit on me. 5th grade talent show.
All right.
First
Aiden
place.
Hutchinson, he's got a
Michael
decent set of
Jackson
pipes.
performing bad. Me.
You
one
performed
Brandon
bad?
Perna.
Can I get a couple bars from that
I
song?
want proof, man.
I didn't
want-
sing.
yeah.
I just danced. I just
Oh.
danced.
Can I get some? Can I get some? Can
Well, if I can
I
find
get
the
a little
video,
crotch grab? A little.
that's
Yeah.
$1,000 donation.
Come on, you know
Okay.
Brandon has no
So
balls.
listen, idea for a punishment is one of us having to recreate the bad dance. I would think, Brandon, you would have to do the whole I'm bad at singing. You
No,
know,
very
You are
good.
pretty
It
bad
was just
singing, dude.
competition
It was
was
very
pretty weak.
good.
that was not good.